broadcasting around the world. This is the Hard Asset Money Show. Your wealth, your money, your future. Serious talk about what's happening and how you profit. Hosted by Christian Briggs. Follow him on X at BMC_HAM. Live in 3, 2, 1.
Joining me now to break this down and all the possibilities that surround possibly tossing that report is Economist Christian Briggs. Christian, good morning. You heard Alicia's report there talking about Anthony and how he's argued for months that the jobs report is often overstated and misleading. In your view, is this a fair criticism and what needs to change?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. You know what? This is a really good argument. If you look at the past 3 years and the way the statistics have been actually taken into context and then put into the marketplace, obviously Wall Street gets those numbers, there has been so many revisions. Look at the Biden administration. There was almost a 900,000 job revision downward. Now, either that was somebody that was really not understanding the complexity or even the simplicity of what the numbers are supposed to do and what they're supposed to add up. Either way, the numbers were reported incorrectly. So there may be an argument to have it maybe come out, and I'm not so sure quarterly or maybe every other month, so you have time to kind of regurgitate the information, put it into something we would call meta or data buckets, which is basically something that segments out exactly what the numbers are. This is a good argument because when you're going to report numbers, if you're a publicly traded company and you get your numbers wrong, you get in big trouble. SEC will be all over you. So why are we reporting numbers that look like almost every month we've got to redo the numbers upward or downward, whatever it may be? You must be accurate. People live and die by these numbers, and Fed policy lives and die. How are you going to be able to have monetary policy for interest rates going up or down or neutral stance if the numbers are basically a roller coaster? I mean, I was floored by the revisions downward, and it reminded me so much of what happened under the Biden administration. So it's a great argument. Maybe not quarterly because that waits too long, but certainly every other month may be a good argument.
Well, Christian, I believe some critics said that this was also tied to DOGE cuts, new numbers being revised constantly with that, what the courts would allow, would not allow. Are they employed? Are they not employed? And usually large revisions to those numbers or revisions happen, not this large. And Anthony even talked about that. It's a key point to his argument. Are these revisions a sign of poor methodology possibly, or simply the nature of real-time data coming in and everyone trying to adjust accordingly?
Okay, that's a great question. What is really affecting these numbers that they have to be revised downward? You know what's funny is if you go to the IRS or any other government agencies and you look at their systems of computing this stuff, let me tell you, they're working on IBM mainframes from 1985. You look at the simplicity of AI generation of what's happening, and it really is simple. We're going to a whole new world in how we take information and disseminate that into something that's very easily at your fingertips. But the government has had inadequate systems to be able to use in complex mathematic equations, especially when you have multiple jurisdictions and local municipalities and states reporting this from different industries within business. So it's not only just maybe a look at the equipment, the software, the kind of almost archaic type of system they're using. Maybe we need to have next generation systems to be able to take all this information, because the U.S. is bigger now than it's ever been. There are so many things that would go in reporting of these jobs, and they're in flux. You might have gains in the first 2 weeks of the month, but then you can have declines in the second half of the month. Now you've got to take those two pieces of information we call logic, and you've got to mix those into one cohesive number. So sometimes you might have positive in the beginning, negative in the end of the month. And I've noticed that where sometimes the revisions are based on the end of the month. So it might be a combination of two things. One, let's upgrade our systems. Let's get better software, better hardware in there, modern 21st century. And number two, let's get actuators in there that know how to take that information and put that into something that is what I consider to be within 1% to 2% of the actual. You might have some variables because it is a moving target, it's fluid.
Right.
But how do you revise 80% downward, 90% revisions? That's crazy.
And the economy needs to be able to trust those numbers, or otherwise CEOs and executives like yourselves will have a hard time figuring out who to hire and what they need. Christian Briggs, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Gold has nearly doubled in just 5 years, rising from $1,700 an ounce in 2020 to over $3,300 today. That's a 95% gain, outperforming the market and proving why gold is the ultimate long-term hedge. As global debt soars and currencies weaken, central banks are hoarding gold at record pace. Why aren't you? At Hard Asset Management, we offer award-winning service and fast, secure delivery. Call 844-426-4653 or visit bmcham.com. Protect your future with real assets. Own gold now. Follow on X at BMC_HAM for all news and the latest developments.